South Africa stands at a political crossroads unlike anything we've seen since the dawn of democracy. In a stunning move that sent shockwaves through the nation and raised eyebrows across the continent, the African National Congress, long the unchallenged political titan, has entered a power-sharing pact with its historic ideological rival, the Democratic Alliance. For many, this feels like a political detour into uncharted territory. For others, it may be the beginning of a recalibration, a forced collaboration that either saves or breaks the country. But one question echoes louder than any celebration or criticism: can it survive? The 2024 elections did what no political analyst could predict with total confidence. South Africans, tired of corruption, load shedding, high unemployment, and stagnant service delivery, delivered a bruising verdict. The ANC lost its majority, a seismic event that rattled the foundations of the ruling party's decades-long dominance. It was no longer business as usual. For the first time, the ANC had to look across the aisle and ask for partnership. And of all the potential partners, the one it chose shocked almost everyone: the DA. Here we are, in the birth phase of a government of national unity 2.0. But this isn't Mandela's post-apartheid rainbow consensus. This is a forced marriage of political survival. A union between two parties who, not long ago, accused each other of racial division, corruption, elitism, and betrayal of the people. The ANC painted the DA as defenders of white monopoly capital. The DA lambasted the ANC for state capture and economic decline. Now, they're sitting at the same table, drafting joint policy proposals and pledging to co-govern a country on the brink. Let that sink in. What brought these two giants to such a political compromise? Raw numbers, plain and simple. The ANC could no longer govern alone, and the DA, despite gains, still couldn't take power outright. The ink of necessity wrote this pact. But make no mistake, necessity isn't harmony. This is not a match made in heaven. It's a test of political maturity, trust, and mutual sacrifice. On paper, the deal looks like a bold reset. A moment for parties to put aside ideological warfare in favor of stability and reform. There are talks of shared ministries, economic reform packages, and joint oversight over corruption probes. Promises are flying, promises of better governance, depoliticized public institutions, and inclusive policy decisions. But how do you reconcile two fundamentally opposing worldviews? The DA stands for open markets, small government, and clean administration. The ANC, though rhetorically leftist, has leaned on patronage networks and status control. Their visions of economic justice clash. Their voter bases really overlap. Their approaches to affirmative action, land reform, and public healthcare couldn't be further apart. So how do they legislate together? Early signs point to turbulence ahead. Behind the smiling photo ops and handshake moments, tensions are brewing. Already, ANC loyalists and DA purists are grumbling. In the DA space, there's talk of betrayal, fear that the party has legitimized the very system it fought to reform. In the ANC camp, there's discontent over concessions made to a historically white-led party that once seemed like an existential enemy. And then there's Julius Malema and the EFF, positioning themselves as the voice of the radical left, the outsiders looking in. They've called the coalition a betrayal of the revolution. They've accused the ANC of selling out. And they are already preparing to capitalize on any failures, any cracks that appear in the unity front. What happens when the first major scandal hits this fragile alliance? What happens when they disagree on a policy that strikes at the heart of their base, say, on land expropriation without compensation, or private-public partnerships in healthcare? Can they hold the line? Or will the same ghosts that haunted them in opposition, mistrust, ideological rigidity, and historical bitterness, return to tear them apart? Here's the truth South Africans are starting to whisper out loud: this is not a unity government, it's a survival pact. A temporary ceasefire forged in the crucible of democratic pressure. The voters spoke, and now the politicians are scrambling to rewrite their playbook. But unless there's a true meeting of minds and a shared vision beyond just maintaining office, this coalition may become a cautionary tale rather than a turning point. And yet, perhaps, just perhaps, this is what South Africa needed. Not more dominance, not more ideological echo chambers, but enforced cooperation. Maybe, just maybe, when two old enemies are forced to co-govern, something new can emerge, a culture of accountability. A refusal to act unilaterally. A check and balance baked into every cabinet meeting. It won't be easy. It won't be clean. But if both parties treat this not as a tactical move, but as a national mission, something historic might unfold. Because let's be honest, South Africa has tried ruling party dominance. It has tried protest politics. It has flirted with populism and watched service delivery decline. Maybe what the country needs now is not a single savior party, but a coalition that is forced to listen to multiple voices, one that governs not with arrogance, but with caution, respect, and compromise. That is, if it doesn't implode first. This is SA Unfiltered, where we cut through the spin and speak truth to power. If you found this breakdown insightful, if you believe in elevating independent South African commentary, then smash that subscribe button right now. Be part of a community that refuses to be spoon-fed. We bring you the raw truth, no filters, no party lines, just real talk. Hit subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and stay locked in. Because in this coalition age, the real power belongs not to politicians, but to an informed, active public.